Act, and Mr. Kifelakai has addressed them. I suggest we then go to your paragraph 15, and perhaps it's appropriate that you read that paragraph into the record.
Thank you, Commissioners. Investigators within IPID are allocated to specific regions within the province. I am a part of a team of investigators who are responsible for investigations within the district of Ekurhuleni, which oversee 43 police stations, as well as specialized units within the SAPS, and Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department, which is our EMPD. We are a team of 6 members. Myself, I oversee 7 police stations that are within the EMPD. And then my acting professional head is Mr. Budu.
Mr. Budu?
Yes, Mr. Budu, Vinesh Budu.
Thank you. Midway, that page 5, you have a heading, My Involvement in Brakpan, case number 429/04/2022. Do you see that?
I can see it, Commissioner.
And before then you deal with the content of that chapter, do you deal in this statement with any other matter or any other investigative work you have done in Ekurhuleni, or is it confined purely to this case?
Commissioner, I've mostly confined mainly to this case because it's the case that is being mostly talked about. So I saw it deemed that at least I must mostly confine my statement into this matter.
But for the record, your statement as it currently stands does not address any other case, just this one?
No, Commissioners.
You say no, I'm wrong, or no, it doesn't. Do you agree with me?
No, it doesn't. Maybe
Okay.
I can later just refer to other matters, but
Indeed.
my statement is based on this matter.
Okay. So then we deal then with Brakpan case number 429/04/2024, and as you state what your involvement was in that matter.
2022.
2022. It's the afternoon, Chair, thank you. 20/2022. You start with that from paragraph 16 at page 5.
Maybe before, Ms. Masuku, maybe before you start, on the back of what you said about the statement dealing only with this case number, but you said you deal with other matters. Are you involved with other EMPD matters?
Yes, Commissioner, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. But by way of background, the statements that were filed, starting with Mr. Kifelakai, were in particular response to complaints raised by Chief Mapieye and Commissioner Spies, and had listed specific cases that both witnesses, when they testified, alleged that IPID is deliberately frustrating. So on that basis, we confined their testimonies, the investigators, to answering the charges in relation to these specific cases. Now, Ms. Masuku, you were provided with a statement of Commissioner Spies during consultations, and we consulted about that statement. Do you confirm?
I agree, Commissioner.
In the list of cases that Commissioner Spies listed, besides this Brakpan case number 429/04 of 2022, is there any other matter that you investigated?
Yes, Commissioners, there is, because we work as a team. But each case will have a lead investigator, so that there must be somebody who must take responsibility of that matter. Like, for instance, in the investigation of the blue lights, the whole team was involved, but we do have the lead investigator on that matter. We've got different cases like precious stones. I was involved in the investigation of that matter, but we do have the lead investigator on that matter. So it's various cases.
Yes,
yes, but on Commissioner Spies' statement, there are other cases that are cited there. whereby they are not registered in our office.
Okay, so I was asking, my question really was to establish, do you specifically speak to this case that you're about to tend to now because you are the lead investigator out of the list of cases that Commissioner Spies referenced, or have you chosen this case on a different basis?
No, I didn't choose the case, but I will speak to it because I'm the lead investigator and I'm the one who's got the full knowledge of the whole docket of all the questions that can be raised. I feel that I'm the person to answer those questions.
Okay, thank you. Then with that explanation, I would invite you to deal with your statement from paragraph 16. On reading the statement, this case had multiple steps, and perhaps it might be appropriate as you relate or you narrate your story that you have referenced time and again to the statement to make sure that we don't skip any important step. So if you could start from paragraph 16.
Thank you, Commissioners. This case of Brakpan case 429 of 4/2022, initially it was not this case number. The case number, it was Duduza case 91 of 4/2022, which was an inquest. But during my statement, I will get to that point as to how did it came about that it changed to this Brakpan case number.
And before you do so, perhaps oversight on my part, we just keep referring to the case number. Can you give a brief summary what the case is about before you deal with the detail?
The Brakpan case 42904 is about the death of an African male, Mr. Emmanuel Mbense, who was staying in Brakpan in 2022, whereby there was an alleged police involvement.
And would I be correct that it's the same case where his body was recovered from a dam?
That's correct, Commissioner. That is why I'm saying it was Duduza case number 91 of 4/2022.
Noted. Thank you. You may continue.
Commissioners, during the year of 2022, around April, I received a call from the SAPS provincial office in Parktown. There was an official that was calling, but he called on my private cell phone. So I took it to a point that means he had my number. I cannot recall the name of that person because it's a long time ago. But he was alleging that there is a family that came to their offices complaining that they found their loved one deceased in a certain area in a dam somewhere where he was found by the police officers. But there are rumors that there were police officers who were in the house when he went missing. Then, because we didn't have any formal complaint regarding that, but just because they were mentioning to say, there was just allegation to say there were police, that they were there on the day of incident. Then I took it upon myself and said to the person I was talking to say to that officer, can you provide them with my contact details, or we exchange contact details so that I can be able to contact them so that I can make an appointment and visit their place.
Them being the family?
Being the family, yes, Commissioner. And then indeed that took place. I made an appointment and visited the family. I cannot recall the date because there was no case docket as yet that I was investigating, but I was just following the information to say there is this concerned family, their loved one is deceased, then they are saying there is involvement of police officers, and I'm an officer for IPID because it has passed through my ears let me give them an ear and find out as to what really transpired. Then I will take it from there. Upon meeting with them, they explained as to how did the incident took place, even though our commissioners, at some stage, I won't be able to divulge all the information because this case is not yet in court. And I know that people implicated, they are on the screens now listening to whatever it I'm going to say. I will just, but I will be able to respond to whatever the questions the commissioners will pose to me. After I got the explanation, then I understood to say, okay, the body was found at Sparwater Dam in Duduza. Then that means I must visit the Duduza police station. That means the docket is there. At Duduza, yes, there was an inquest docket that was registered. During that period, I'm just still doing just my preliminary investigation. It's not that I am saying IPID is investigating the matter. I just need to find out as to what transpired. So later on, I can be able to determine to say, will it fall within the mandate or not? And those are conditions I did explain to the family to say, if ever the allegations that you are explaining to me, they can end up being true, we will take over the investigation. But if it's not true, we will leave the investigation with the SAPS. Indeed, I got the docket. I went through the docket at the station in, that was around maybe beginning of May in 2022. I went through the docket at the station, and then what I realized before I could even say the docket is classified wrongly or what, it was that the case docket is opened by the state, which are police officers, because somebody is found deceased.
Before you proceed, we are now dealing with your paragraph 20. Okay. Can you, as you do in your paragraph 20, provide the full official details of that case docket? You refer to it at paragraph 20.
Okay, Commissioner, can I maybe read my paragraph 20?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I traced and located the case docket at Duduza police station where it was registered as an inquest as per Duduza case 91 of 4/2022. I attach as annexure NPM 1 a copy of the crime administration system docket history. That is just the SAPS, it's the system that is called CAS. The CAS is derived from crime administration system. So from now on, I will call it CAS. That is how it was registered and classified as an inquest docket. And then it was allocated that specific number, which is 9104 of 2022, because it's a year, a month, yes, and the serial number of incident of when it took place.
Yes.
Yes. I couldn't transfer the case docket to IPID because I was still conducting the preliminary investigation to ascertain if there was indeed involvement of police officers as alleged by deceased family. An inquest docket traditionally contains the complainant's statements, chain of evidence records, like cause of death. Not really, I'm not referring to cause of death that is coming from the postmortem report, but there is that a document, normally SAPS, they will fill it in whenever they are taking the body from the scene to the mortuary, which is SAPS 180. Normally, when the matter will be an inquest, you will find that they just write what's the cause of death unknown. So that is why they will end up registering inquest. The statement in the case docket was a witness statement who stated that there had been police officers in the property of the deceased before he went missing. Then I was puzzled to say, if the police officers visited the deceased's address because they found him in the dam, he was transported to the mortuary, but in his pockets there was a driver's license, or they should have reported to IPID. I am saying this because there is a witness that was interviewed by SAPS, not by me, by SAPS. The witness that is saying the owner of this house, on the day of incident, on the night of incident, the police officers were here. He was also here. But that is the last time I saw him. The following day, the house was upside down. It was open. I just pushed the butler gate just to close it a bit, but he was nowhere to be found. Then now, for the investigating office of SAPS, who interviewed that witness, got the information now to say, yes, that means the police officers were here. This person was found at the dam. Okay, cause of death is unknown, but by looking at the body found there, there is blood that shows that there is some injuries around the head, even though you won't know where, but if blood was running somewhere, then you see that this person is injured. So SAPS, they interviewed the witness, the police were there. They found the deceased had injuries, but still they continued and registered an inquest matter, of which it was wrong of them to do that, according to me now. Because they can see that this person was killed. So they must register a murder docket so that it must be investigated as to what transpired with this person. And it was for SAPS to report that matter to IPID. Then it was for IPID to say, because this is how it goes when SAPS reports matters to us. We have a standby phone with a register. The standby phone rotates to everyone in the office. It's only one phone. Then you will receive the calls for all the stations. I'm working under Eguruleni, but I will receive the calls from Johannesburg, from Soweto, from wherever they give calls. So SAPS was supposed to call our office. Then the member of standby was going to respond to them. Then we were going to attend the scene, because it helps us if we attend the crime scene. And during our investigation, most things becomes very easy, because I will be there. I will take charge of the scene. Yes, my manager explained to say, we don't have enough resources. I agree, we don't have. We use SAPS because they are experts in that. But when I'm working with them at a crime scene, SAPS, they phoned, then they reported. Then Masuku comes to the scene from IPID. Then I will find out who the crime scene manager there. Then from there, the crime scene manager will hand over to me now. It's my crime scene now. I take control of everything, sorry. Then if SAPS should have done that, I don't believe that this investigation was going to take 4-5 years. But it took this long, and I will say I'm happy that I've got this opportunity to come and explain, so that even South Africa can understand to say how hard was it to crack this kind of a case. Okay,
We are now at your paragraph 22 at
Okay,
page 7. Thank you.
I think it's the last sentence perhaps of 20, if you could just read into the record the last sentence of 20.
Yes.
okay. Thank you, Commissioner. The statement in the docket was of a witness who stated that there had been police officers.
The very last sentence, I think you were left with that before
Oh, yes.
you started explaining.
The witness
Was
a tenant on that property.
that is Mr. Mbense's property?
Yes,
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Ms. Masuku, before you move on, we heard from the previous witness about Section 29, which imposes an obligation to report conduct that falls under IPID's mandate. Now, and you're explaining now that the police had this information, the people whoever became responsible for this case initially, knew the particulars, had a witness statement, there was an ID card of this person in the pocket, and there were injuries, and you say you expected, in fact, they should have called on IPID, reported this to IPID. It is fair to say we should expect a report about whether anyone of the police that attended to the scene and failed to report this to IPID, but in fact did more than that. What they did is they reported it as an inquest case, when in fact, in the way you describe it, it was clearly not that. That we should expect that those officers charges would be laid or should be laid against them for failure to report, and because Section 29 says you have an obligation to report, and it's an offense if you don't.
Commissioner, it's supposed to be like that. But on this matter, no police officer was charged because we do have IPID Act, Section 33 of IPID Act, whereby we can open a case docket against a police officer if they fail to report. On this matter, we did not open Section 33 case against any member. Reason being, I struggled to get the witness that the police officers took a statement from, because immediately after the statement was taken, he moved out before the funeral. So he was nowhere to be traced. So for me to open Section 33 based on that, I said to myself, let me do the investigation, then I will see that later if I locate my witness. But I agree, Commissioner, to say, according to me, they should have reported this matter to IPID.
Complaint should still be laid against them.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Thank you.
And I assume that later you will explain why the tenant disappeared.
I will.
Later.
Yes,
All right,
I will,
all right.
Commissioner. When I get there, I will explain.
Thank you, Commissioners. You had testified that in your view, you considered the matter wrongly classified as an inquest, correct?
Yes,
And
that's
that you
correct.
stated your paragraph 21, and you set out the reason as being because the witnesses' allegations of police involvement and where the body was recovered should have militated against such a classification.
That's correct,
And
Commissioners.
I invite you to pick up your story from paragraph 22.
To reclassify the case as a murder case, I visited the Heidelberg Forensic Pathology Services. That was during May 2022 to obtain the postmortem examination report that was going to reflect the cause of death of the deceased. The reason I did this was to confirm first that the deceased didn't die from natural causes. Upon receiving the postmortem report, I noted that it was confirmed by the forensic pathologist, Dr. Stein, that the deceased cause of death was a head injury due to blunt force trauma. This was now confirmation that the deceased didn't die from natural causes. This conclusion will therefore require a reclassification of the case from an inquest to a murder case. This reclassification, together with the witness statement's allegation that the police were implicated, gave me the authority to register the case as an IPID matter.
Before you proceed, for the commissioners, the current version of the statement you have does not attach the post-mortem report. Your files have since been updated. If you could make a note at paragraph 30 that the post-mortem report is now annexure NPM1, Roman 1, starting from page 2.1 onwards in your annexure bundle.
Paragraph 23.
Paragraph 23, there. It's annexure NPM1 bracket Roman 1. Now, Ms. Masuku, I see if you could turn then to the other bundle that's written annexures, and you go to page 2.1, you will see that the documents there are flagged marked NPM1 and following. I want to draw your attention to page NPM1 bracket 1 after NPM1. And that should start at your page 2.1 with the heading death register number, and it gives the details. You see it?
Okay, I see it, Commissioner.
Is that the